I see more white folks worried about that white only town than black folks. Video after video, I'm seeing, oh my God, y'all, they're being a whites only town in Arkansas. Did y'all see they're building that white only town? What are we gonna do? Nothing. We're not gonna do a damn thing. Baby, Mother Nature will take its course.
So I keep seeing these videos about these white people that want to live by themselves on their own. You seen them? You seen that yet? Come through your For You page? Well, look, I want to say this. If that's what you want to do, that's what we want you to do. We want you to be happy, right? We want you to be around the people that you want to be. And if you don't like diversity, honey, that's okay. That is okay. You can do that. You can go over there and find your little towns and create your towns with like-minded people and live your best life. But we good over here. Like, I'm not trying to convince you or anything. Like, seriously, I'm not. But I do appreciate the diversity of what the different cultures bring. Like, you know, just being exposed to this, because I've had this all my life and I love it. So all of this shit is right. I ain't gonna lie. All this kind of like racism shit, it's a little bit new to me. Like, I mean, I had experiences in my adult life. I ain't experienced this when I was growing up because we had a diverse town, like everybody. And I learned from so many different people and I had so many different friends with different cultures. And I love that. So I'm never one to try to take away somebody's right to live the life that they want to live. I just ask that if you do that, like if you create this town where only people like you, I want you to live your best life over there. Like when we start thriving, because this is where y'all always get it up. When you see another demographic start thriving, then you find a problem with it and you want to fuck it up. And we don't need that. Like what you did in Tulsa, like that's, you know, okay, I ain't gonna say that's forgiving because it's fucking not, but I'm gonna tell you something. I don't recommend you try it like today. Like I'm saying, like if you really want to go somewhere and thrive and live your best life, you better keep your ass over there. Because this group of people, like this, the remaining of us, we ain't them. Okay, so like make sure that you invite everybody that's going to provide you with what you need, because it ain't going to be no more coming over here. You know what I'm saying? Once you decide to separate, you separate it. Let's be clear. Once you decide to separate, take all yours with you because you separate it and you make sure you have everything you fucking need, because you ain't going to get nothing from over here. Like, I ain't mad. Like, seriously, if this is what you want to do, honey, I want you to live your happiest life. If this is going to bring you joy, do it. Live your best life. But you make sure you have everything you need in that little, you know, in your little bubble of people, of like-minded people. Make sure everybody's bringing what they need to the table, quote unquote, because you ain't going to get nothing over here. And just stay from over here. That's all we saying. So do you, please do you. Please do you. If this is going to make you happy, bitch, you like it, we absolutely love it. Do it. Please do it. Please do it. Okay? You have our blessing. What? You have it.
And the reason why that whites only community that they have in Arkansas and it's now going to Missouri does not surprise me, because I know about sundown towns. Yeah, they do exist. I just seen a video of a lady talking about the state of Oregon, and she just realized it's a sundown state. Not a town, but a state. Less than 2% of its population are black people. So yeah. Now the rules and laws of these whites only cities or towns that they're building is that all of the women have to stay home.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you watch me from. I'm your host and presenter H-Dog Stories. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing fine from wherever you watch me from. Today is another day to thank God for the gift of life and everything that He has granted unto us. I'm just hoping that from wherever you're watching me from, you're doing well. Just confirm with me from the state that you come from. Confirm with me that you're doing well in the comment section. I have a topic that I want us to discuss. As you could see from the prelude, the Kansas city that was supposed to be a whites-only city becomes a problem. The initiative Return to the Land shows that there are a couple of factors that we can just wake up in the morning and decide that you want to have your own community, specifically the white folks that wanted to do this. And they learned that really people need each other. Let's take an example. Now they're setting the whites only community, specifically a white community. It means that they should be sustainable by themselves. It means that when they want farmers, when they want doctors, when they want lawyers, they should root them by themselves. But this is not really, because the last time I checked, the United States is not just being driven by the American citizens only. It needs different people. It needs immigrants for it to work. It needs, and you could see how the immigration laws that Mr. Donald Trump tried to push has really affected the United States, and it has showed that indeed people really took immigrants for granted until they left, until they could not work, and that's when they realized that things are getting crazy. We have also seen white farmers trying to tell black farmers to work on their farms. This means that these people cannot do without other communities. These people cannot do without black people to begin with. And so there is so much failings or challenges that they might face when they are deciding to set up their white-only community. Perfect example that is showing why this is going to be hard is the Arkansas. The city is not working, and there are a couple of blame games. There are a couple of loopholes that people are talking about. There is so much disintegration. There is so much, a lot of things that needs to be considered before doing that. And in this video, you can hear everyone's opinion in regards to this. It's failing, brothers and sisters. It means that white folks cannot do without any other community, in short. So let's watch this video. I'll be back and then I'll be giving my thoughts at the end of the video. If you're watching me for the first time, first, I'd like to take this chance to say thank you for reaching me 150k subs. Man, I'm really, really grateful for the support that you're trying to give me. I'm also thankful to those who are always supporting me through my Cash App account, those who are always sending me super thanks, those who are always liking my video, commenting, and sharing the video, because it goes where I add to make these interactions so easy. Now, let's watch the video. I'll be back with my commentary as usual.
And take care of the children in the community collectively while the men go to work. This is probably going to open the door for some weird ass shit. I promise you. I'm almost positive that they're going to have their own little rules. They're going to be marrying off girls at young ages or whatever with girls at young ages. They're going to push younger girls to be fruitful and whatnot because they don't want them to go to school. They probably won't be going to public school. They probably will have them homeschooled just so they could keep their traditional lives. And now I just wish the sundown towns would announce themselves as well. Just say it. Just admit that you're a sundown town, because it's not all right when a black person is traveling or a person of color is traveling in the wee hours of the morning or the night trying to get from point A to point Z, but they have to travel through point B, C, D, and E, but they never get there because they're at a sundown town. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really couldn't care less. And I understand the ramifications that because it's going to go to court, if the courts approve this could just pop up everywhere. But again, we have sundown towns. They already exist.
Welcome everybody to the second meeting of our newly established Inbredia, a whites only town. Today I would like to discuss what laws we would like to see put in place. Do I have any ideas? Yes. No seasoning on chicken, absolutely no seasoning on chicken. I always say when it comes to chicken, the more white, the more right. In fact, if you boil your chicken, you can get it even whiter. So I would strongly recommend that. Do we have any other ideas? Yes. No vaccines. Well, that's a gimme, Bill, you f***ing idiot. If it can't be healed with ivermectin, then we will just die. We can make polio great again. Do I have any other ideas? Yes. We need a flag. I couldn't agree more. And in fact, I've been keeping something secret from y'all, something I've been working real hard on. I hope you like it as much as I do. This is my suggestion for the new Inbredia flag. You see, here we have the United States flag. We have a jar of mayo. What could represent us better? That's right, Linda, potato salad with raisins, the only way to eat a potato salad. Thank you all so much. All in favor of making this the new Imbredia flag? Excellent, this shall be our new flag. Thank you all so much. I'm getting tired and I need a smoke, so we're gonna go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Next time I want you to think about what kind of establishments you would like to see in Imbredia. Thank y'all so much.
Then folks building up that white-only community in Missouri are very funny, because if you know your history, you'll realize that it's going to collapse upon itself. It's going to fail. And I really feel like they're going to notice that it's failing whenever Becky's trying to make burrito tacos and she's really f***ed up. And they'll find somebody else to blame at the end of the day, because these people have insane egos and are just extremely racist. Like, the thought of maybe my ignorance and my stupidity led to this failure is too much for them. They can't compute it, because for centuries they've been telling themselves that they're better than because of the color of their skin, because they're white, they're pure, they're God's gift to earth, you know what I mean? And their whole existence depends upon having their ego stroked by society. And if you don't stroke their ego, they're going to lash out, they're going to wall out. Like, and it's because they don't have any kind of culture. They don't have anything to really cling to besides whiteness, because a lot of white people have lost their culture as a result of coming over here from Europe. And because they lost their culture, lost their heritage, they're always trying to infiltrate black and brown communities and take what they can and bring it back to them, you know what I mean? Because it's like they see that our communities are built on love and care for one another. And white supremacy doesn't allow for that. It drives for individualism. It drives for you not to care about anybody but yourself, because you're trying to reach a level of white supremacy that'll allow you to not talk about anybody, that'll allow you to be extremely superior. White supremacy doesn't just mean supremacy over black and brown folks. It's supremacy over other white people as well. Because capitalism is one of the things that really holds up white supremacy and allows it to function and run rampant.
No black, no gay, and no Jewish people. That is the rule in this white-only town being built in Arkansas. Nope, this isn't 1950. It's happening right now in 2025 in the Ozarks. A group called Return to the Land has built what they proudly call a whites-only community on 160 acres in the Ozarks. They've got cabins, roads, fences, wells, community center, and even a private schoolhouse, all for people who pass their strict racial and cultural tests. To live there, you must be white with European ancestry, straight, Christian, and you cannot be black, Jewish, LGBTQ, or follow a non-European religion. They vet applicants with video interviews, and some are even asked to prove their ancestry. The founders, Eric Orwell and Peter Sears, say that they want to create a, quote, fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, build a white town. Now, here's the thing. They're calling it a private membership association to dodge federal housing laws. Basically, they sell membership shares through a company called Wisdom Woods LLC. And rather than traditional deeds, which they claim makes them exempt from anti-discrimination laws like the Fair Housing Act. And shockingly, well, maybe not, there's already 40 people living on the site and hundreds more worldwide are applying. They say they have things like goat herding, homeschool programs, flute recitals, and even a white baby bounty, basically rewarding white females for having more children. And I saw one of their interviews, and even their dog is white. And get this, they're not stopping in Arkansas. They've already announced plans to expand into Missouri near Springfield. Now, civil rights groups like the NAACP and Anti-Defamation League and state officials are calling it what it is, a modern-day experiment in segregation, racism, and legal loopholes. Arkansas's Attorney General is investigating, but as of right now, this community is still operating, still growing, and still recruiting. This isn't just a hate group in the woods, you guys. It's a test case to see if they can build a future where civil rights laws don't apply, as long as they call it private. This is insane.
It's like if white people are telling you, I don't want you to be near me, why are you trying to be near them? Or why are you mad that they're trying to get away from you? It's like, it's coming off as like weird. Like, why do you want to be in proximity of people that don't want to be in proximity to you? Why do you want to be in, like, why? It's coming off weird. It's coming off self-hating because, like, why do you not want to just be around people that look like you? You know what I'm saying? Why do you, and I don't have a problem being around anybody. I'm just saying, like, if a certain group is telling you, hey, I don't want to be near you, and they think their population is getting genocide, which is not, let them go. Go build all that land in Arkansas. I hope y'all have the best community. I hope it's safe. I hope y'all succeed. I really do. Imagine if we got all the races to go to Arkansas. Imagine that. Like, could you imagine a world like that?
A whites-only community could be coming to Missouri in 2025, and yes, you are hearing me correctly. An actual group called Return to the Land is trying to build a segregated whites-only town near Springfield, Missouri. And this isn't parody, and this is not satire. This is happening in America right now. The founder says that they want to return to their roots. But come on, guys, let's be real. This isn't about heritage. This is about hate. This is about building a safe space for white supremacy under the guise of community. And what's even more disturbing, these people feel so emboldened these days that they're not even hiding it anymore. They're openly promoting racial segregation like it's normal, like this country didn't literally fight an actual civil war to end this bullshit. This is what happens when politicians feed the lie that diversity is the problem. This is what happens when you have people in power pushing the idea that America was better when it was whiter. They want to isolate, they want to indoctrinate, they want to raise their kids in a world where no one challenges their racism, their ignorance, or their twisted version of history. So, here's the question. How in the hell are we letting this happen in broad daylight? Where are the zoning boards? Where are the civil rights investigations? And where is the national outrage? Because if they succeed here, this won't be the last. It'll literally be the blueprint. We are watching the normalization of white nationalism one community at a time. And if you're not disturbed by that, you're either racist yourself or you're just not paying attention.
I need y'all to understand that those people do not intend to leave us alone in their little town in Arkansas. It's recently been in the news that some chalk children in America have decided to create their own whites-only town. And when asked by a reporter, they made it seem as though that they intend to just have a town of their own and resources of their own and just live off the land, returning to the land. A land that they stole through crimes against humanity, but who's counting? Many brothers and sisters' take on this is, hey, we don't care if y'all have your own, just leave us alone in the process. I mean, every time we've tried to do that, y'all have burned our towns down. And I'm just here to tell y'all that unfortunately, they do not intend to leave us alone. In the interview with the colonizer that wants to found this whites-only town in Arkansas, they're making it seem as though they just want to live in peace. We must remember that these are people that have never known peace. They didn't know peace when they was by themselves in the ice-cold mountains of Europe, and they're not going to know peace in the middle of Arkansas. In the 70s, there was a black scholar that broke down white supremacy into an equation. The same way that E equals MC squared, white supremacy equals white power over non-white powerlessness. And so that means that white supremacy cannot live in an environment where non-white people have any form of power. Because if there's no non-white people around, who are they superior to? Nothing they have achieved has been achieved by leaving people alone. It's like if your son or daughter said they didn't want to live in the house anymore and locked themselves in their room. In order to eat, brush their teeth, or do anything, that child would have to come outside the room. And it's the same thing for them. At some point, they are going to need resources and labor, and that's when they turn to us. And if we have our own power and our own resources, then we have no reason to share with them. And that is when they destroy what we have so that we have to work with them. Don't be fooled. Just like the movie Sinners, it all starts out nice and pleasant, but they have ulterior motives.
Y'all really thought we cared about that white-only town, didn't y'all? Y'all thought y'all was getting off on that, didn't y'all? Y'all thought y'all was going to just blow the internet up with y'all. Y'all really thought that, didn't y'all? We could care less. First of all, it's in Arkansas. It isn't. They don't even sell liquor on Sundays in Arkansas. We don't want to be there. There is nothing in Arkansas that we want to go for. Second of all, Arkansas. Third of all, y'all said y'all was going to take it to Missouri. What was that the other place? Missouri? Another place that we don't want to be in. I don't know shit in Missouri. We don't care. We could care less. But I tell you one thing, let us do it. Because history has shown that every time we have done it, we've done it successfully. And every time we've done it, y'all have burned them to the ground. Y'all the ones that care, not us. We don't give a shit. Have your little country ass town where y'all gonna take the Bible and twist it to hell and do what y'all want to do with it and not actually follow the words in it, because y'all don't do that anyway, because y'all missed the whole love your neighbor part. Y'all missed the whole don't do no wrong to immigrants part. Y'all miss all the main stuff in the Bible. Y'all miss all of that. So y'all gonna take the words of God and twist it to hell, and then y'all gonna run with it. It will soon become some type of bull crap that y'all gonna just hang on tight to, that the rest of the country gonna laugh at. Nobody cares. We don't care. We really don't care. But I bet if we do it, y'all will care.
So we've all heard about this whites only town that's being formed in Arkansas. You know, the return to the land people. I'm trying to figure out why y'all think that's like something new and something like shocking for the rest of us. Because we all know about Harrison, Arkansas, right? We all know Harrison, Arkansas is the home of the KKK. And I'm pretty sure most people of color, even though there may be like a very low percentage, I would say maybe about 1% of that entire town might be people of color. But everybody knows you don't stay in Harrison after the sun goes down. Like, that's a real thing. People of color know you drive through Harrison and you do your best not to stop. So like you fill up with gas before you get to Harrison so you can just make a straight shot through Harrison. But anyway, the fact that they're saying that only people with pure European heritage, nobody in the LGBTQIA community is allowed, and they're going to make people take DNA tests to prove their European heritage. I'm just here to say that I think most of the people who look like me and some other people that are, you know, melanated, we don't give a damn. We don't care. We love this for you. The only thing that we ask is when this is not necessarily a success, don't come over there and try to burn the rest of our down. You know, like how y'all did. You know, like with Rosewood and the Tulsa massacre. You know what I'm saying. Stay over there. Don't come over here trying to burn nothing down. Don't come over here trying to take over. Stay over there. Keep you and your little racist kids and your little racist family. Stay over there. That's all we ask. Don't come back over here. Don't. And we don't. Stay over there. Because you know what? We don't give a good goddamn. We love this for you. We actually love it more for us because we don't have to see you. We don't have to deal with you. It is beautiful. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Hot take, I don't have a problem with them having a white-only town or community. They have one already in Arkansas. It's a members-only community, and they're thinking about doing one in Missouri. But see, my only thing is, if you guys are going to do it, you need to do it the right way. Like, why stop at a town? You need an island. You know, somewhere you can escape the horrors of woke people and colored people and gay people that want basic human decency and equality and justice. Like, ew, you know? Somewhere far, I don't know, maybe the Epstein Island, you know? Since Trump did say he was a terrific guy, I think it's only fitting that you take your king with you and, you know, build the walls. You can keep all of us colored people and woke people out of it. And then that way you guys can live in the 1950s freely without us bothering you. But I don't know. That's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I feel like you guys need to think bigger. Like, why would you want to be in a country that is so diverse? You need an island.
And they said it's an all-white town in Arkansas. And baby, I wouldn't last a minute there. As soon as I walk in, all the men there are going to find out they got jungle fever. I'm not going to even lie. The mayor, the sheriff, the church deacon, even Mr. Tractor Supplier himself will be looking at me like I'm Sunday dinner. Talking about some, yeah, I ain't never seen one like her before. I know. But what kills me is men who act like they don't like black women, put a dark-skinned baddie with lace for days in their face with big lips and some lip gloss on, they gonna fold asking about, oh, you like country music? Sir, you were born racist. I'm not blind. So y'all let me know. Should I take a little road trip? Might turn the whole town into the interrogated experience. Zinc, Arkansas, y'all better hide your husbands. They're racist. Not blind. They racist. And I hope y'all ready for me. I want y'all greeting me with open arms.
No black, no gay, and no Jewish people. That is the rule in this white-only town being built in Arkansas. Nope, this isn't 1950. It's happening right now in 2025 in the Ozarks. A group called Return to the Land has built what they proudly call a whites-only community on 160 acres in the Ozarks. They've got cabins, roads, fences, wells, community center, and even a private schoolhouse, all for people who pass their strict racial and cultural tests. To live there, you must be white with European ancestry, straight, Christian, and you cannot be black, Jewish, LGBTQ, or follow a non-European religion. They vet applicants with video interviews, and some are even asked to prove their ancestry. The founders, Eric Orwell and Peter Sears, say that they want to create a, quote, fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, build a white town. Now, here's the thing. They're calling it a private membership association to dodge federal housing laws. Basically, they sell membership shares through a company called Wisdom Woods LLC. And rather than traditional deeds, which they claim makes them exempt from anti-discrimination laws like the Fair Housing Act. And shockingly, well, maybe not, there's already 40 people living on the site and hundreds more worldwide are applying. They say they have things like goat herding, homeschool programs, flute recitals, and even a white baby bounty, basically rewarding white females for having more children. And I saw one of their interviews, and even their dog is white. And get this, they're not stopping in Arkansas. They've already announced plans to expand into Missouri near Springfield. Now, civil rights groups like the NAACP and Anti-Defamation League and state officials are calling it what it is, a modern-day experiment in segregation, racism, and legal loopholes. Arkansas's Attorney General is investigating, but as of right now, this community is still operating, still growing, and still recruiting. This isn't just a hate group in the woods, you guys. It's a test case to see if they can build a future where civil rights laws don't apply, as long as they call it private. This is
to the white people that are like, oh my God, this is crazy, to that whites only town in Arkansas or Missouri, whatever backwoods town or state it's happening in, you do realize right now in 2025, that's what the Trump administration, MAGA, a whole load of white people are operating on. They want this a whites only country. You're just surprised because these motherfuckers in that town are just saying it out loud in a way you can't turn your face away from. But Trump and his administration in America as a whole for centuries has been saying the same shit. I'll continue to say this. We are in the middle of a reckoning for white people, all of us. And I fucking hate Trump. If you followed me over the years, you know I've despised that man, been talking about it for years. Been talking about white supremacy nonstop for almost 5 years, but I cannot separate myself from that as a white man in this country. But this is just, there's no surprises here, none. When you have a government that is sending out ICE to kidnap immigrant men, women, and children, put them in American concentration camps, when you have a police force that frequently murders black men, women, and children, when you have a government that continues to destroy indigenous communities, when you have a government that pays for the genocide of the Palestinian people, when you have a government that has a white supremacist hand in Congo and Sudan and Haiti and all these other places across the world that causes death and destruction, when you have a government that is making their sole focus to destroy anything that involves diversity, equity, and inclusion, deleting Black, Indigenous people of color from historical archives, talking about how Black history is divisive. Like the list goes on. When you have a government that runs off this idea that there's a white genocide, or that the white population is at risk of being destroyed, like this, they are trying so hard to make this a whites only America. But the thing is, white people won't believe that unless another white person is like, hey, we're making a whites only community. Then it's like, oh my God, this is bad. No, Black, Indigenous people of color have been telling America this for literally hundreds of years. There are Black creators, Indigenous creators from other communities outside of whiteness every day that are on this app telling the truth. But you won't believe that it's racism or white supremacy unless a white person purposefully tells you, hey, we're going to be super racist and build a white supremacist town. Then you're like, oh, that's okay. It is real. Listen to Black, Indigenous people of color. They tell you the truth. They know us better than we know ourselves.
So the people of Missouri is trying to build a whites-only town, and all I keep thinking of is Gilead? Is that you? Handmaid's Tales? Is that you? We were wondering why there was not a lot of Black people, unless there was the mixed race girl in the show. This is why. That Missouri whites-only town is the beginning stages of Gilead, the Handmaid's Tales. You've been warned. Also, we don't care. Are y'all gonna live stream it? Is it gonna be behind a paywall? I'm trying to see what's gonna happen. Who will be June? Who are the nurses? This is in real life. We are going to see Handmaid's Tales in real. I'm excited, bro. Why am I excited? I'm not excited about the child abuse. No, not the neglect. No, that's very serious. That is a huge concern. That is a huge concern. But also, is this going to be live streamed? I wonder how much it'll be. Episode? Because it's going to be like a good, like Grey's Anatomy, few seasons, a few years of a season. Damn, that's crazy.
So they're doing a whites only community in Arkansas and the Ozarks. A whites only community in Arkansas. This is where we're at in America today. Like, what the do you mean you don't want to be around people that look like me? Us brown people are cool as hell. Positive vibes, good food, beautiful people. Like, what the do you mean you guys want to live in a whites only community in America in the year 2025? What had to happen in your childhood or growing up that as adults you guys decided you guys want to live in a whites only community? Doesn't that sound stupid? How racist do you have to be to want to live in a whites only community? I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but even if I was white, that sounds lame as f***. Like, I would never want to do some shit like that. That sounds boring.
How do you feel about them creating a whites only town? The same way I felt when y'all told me Hulk Hogan died. So? So? That's great news for us, right? That's great news for the ones that don't care. That is great news. Let them separate themselves. Why should we worry about it? Let them have their own town. It's going to be unseasoned anyways. I vote that they continue to do it. I vote for it. I second it. If you want to be ignorant, if you want to be racist, if you want to continue to live the same old life of hatred, separate yourself from everybody else. Go ahead. Have at it. Live the best life you want with you and the other racist people. Why should we care? That's all we ask for you to do. Separate yourself. Move off the Mars or somewhere. Move off the planet Earth. Move in the ocean. We don't care.
Are we seriously mad about people wanting to have a whites-only community? Let's not forget the fact that we always label things black own this and black own that. So a white man, Eric Alwall, wanted to establish his own town for his own people, white people. He wanted to control who he had as neighbors. His goal is to preserve the purity of his culture and traditions. So what are we mad for? Let's not forget, a couple years ago, Ashley Scott and Renee Walters got together and created their own community, their own black community. They wanted to create generational wealth and keep their legacy and culture. So I'm confused. What's the problem when the white people want to do it? And I know what you're going to say. You're going to try to bring up history and that victimization mentality. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. That happened many years ago. We're talking about now. We're not going to continue to bring up the past. At one point, we did have Black Wall Street, and yes, it was destroyed. However, we had the ability to rebuild, and we didn't. We were defeated. So we're not going to continue to play the victim. This is a voluntary self-segregation, not a forced one. Get over.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter Generic Stories. Well, here we are. The Arkansas city that was said to be a white-only city seems to be failing. Reasons are specifically, these white folks are learning that they cannot do without black people. They cannot do without other communities as compared to the initial beliefs. Perfect example, as I said earlier in the video, these people need people to work on their farms, especially farmers. When you're in a white-only city where you don't have people to work for you, where will you get the labor? And you people, you don't want to work. What does that mean? This means that you are not ready to have your own settlements. And also a couple of factors that may make this so hard for them to own their own, white-only based cities. First, you need to consider legal and constitutional friction that is still there. In the US, explicit race-based exclusion collides with the federal civil rights laws and state constitutional norms, even when groups try to clock exclusionary practices as private membership or cultural preservation. Officials and civil rights organizations tend to scrutinize land purchases, membership rules, discriminatory bylaws. State attorneys and general and local governments can investigate and challenge practices that amount to racial discrimination. The Arkansas example has already drawn such official attention and legal review, which creates uncertainty and costly litigation risk for any will-be ethno-enclave. So there is so much to be said, there is so much to be followed by the law. And the last time I checked, the federal state doesn't really allow this in the name of cultural preservation. So it means that the people who are trying to set up these things, they are going against the law. Another thing that I would like to talk about is public legitimacy and political pushback. Beyond courts, these projects attract intense public scrutiny, negative media, and political condemnation that make partnership, permits, and municipal cooperation difficult. Elected officials, sensitive to constitutions and lawsuits, may withdraw cooperation, permitting infrastructural support, or pursue investigation. That political isolation raises transaction costs and blocks normal community formation process. Zoning, schooling, accreditation, access to grants, turning what should be routine civic work into legal and reputational minefield. And this shows you when you try to do this. Remember, there's something called specialization. We have a group of people that are specialized in doing different things. For example, when people from different societies come together, it means that we will find a niche that we can thrive when we specialize, when we come from different places. And this is not easy to achieve when you put people, a group of people that don't want to work, a group of people that finds it easy and thinks that other races should do something and not them. So tell me, how are they going to make this work? Right? So you understand that it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. Economic fragility and labor skill shortages. Yes, I've addressed this. Sustaining a town requires a mix of skills. You can have constructions, plumbing, medical care, teaching, logistics, agricultural management, small businesses, and entrepreneurship. Homogeneous, ideological, selective communities often have difficulty attracting or retaining the full complement of human capital they need. They also sometimes prefer in-group labor that lacks scale or specialization. Comparative cases like Orania shows that separatist towns can become economically narrow, relying on a narrow set of business, internal currencies, and subsidized lifestyles, which limits growth and resilience. That economic narrowness makes long-term self-sufficiency costly and subtle. This means that if you have a business and you're a white person and you move to these places, it's gonna be hard for you. Let's just be realistic. The last time I checked, black folks have a higher purchasing power. Black people have a consumerism culture. This is not something to celebrate, but it is the truth. Now tell me, if we are doing this, you are separating, you having a separatist towns, like for example, the Orania, Arkansas, all these towns, you having your own separative towns that you're trying to do this. But ask yourself this question. You planning to start a business. Do you think the people that you're going to move in with your community are going to support you? Or when you're going to have a business outside else and have your own community inside? Maybe, I don't know. Also, we have instances of labor shortages. These are things that are yet to occur or to happen. Remember when I said you've had cases of white folks not wanting to work on farms and they need other people to come and work on their farms. So this is something that has been happening. It becomes so difficult to have a group of people that are bosses, people that don't want to work, right? People that want other people to work for them. They need to get themselves inside the farm and work. And so this causes economic fragility. Talk about infrastructural and dependency on outside system. Even remote international communities rely on regional and national systems. Electricity grids, medical evacuation capacity, postal and banking networks, internet and supply chains, road maintenance, and emergency services. If country or state agencies becomes reluctant to serve or integrate such a community because of its exclusionary policies, the settlement's residents experience immediate practical hardship, higher costs for everything from healthcare to fuel, and greater vulnerability in crisis. Other reporting on the Arkansas site show basic infrastructure, that's roads, wells, cabins, in place, but the deep dependence remain and those cannot be flipped off by the ideology. Reputation and market barriers. Financial institutions, insurers, vendors, and employment marketplaces are sensitive to reputational risk. A business openly linked to an overtly exclusionary community may face boycotts. And that's true. Denial of services, high insurance premiums, or withdrawal of banking relationships. Those markets' reaction make credit, mortgages, and commercial insurance harder to secure, starving growth capital and raising everybody's operational cost. Media exposure to projects like the Arkansas Enclave rapidly produces these market headwinds, undermining long-term viability. So you get to know that when you form your own towns, this is what it means. It means that there are a couple of things that you're not going to be getting support, including making your own roads and all those other stuffs. Stuffs. That's how it gets so much difficult for you. Talking about demographic sustainability problems, most democracies and markets are sustainable by demographic dynamism. Young families, inward migration, diverse skill inflows, white-only projects face to demographic headwinds. First, in many Western contexts, the white population is aging and not reproducing at replacement rates. Two, intentionally limiting in migration shrinks the pool of workers and entrepreneurs. Over time, this produces labor shortages, aging workforce, and difficulties maintaining essential services such as schools close, business fail, forcing either integration or dependency on outside labor. Contradicting the enclave's founding logic, scholarship on segregation and separatism highlights how these structural demographic limits. Also, internal governance friction and ideological fracture. These are yet things that are yet to happen, and it's happening already, and we are seeing people complaining about this. Homogeneous political or cultural movements often imagine unified values, but in practice, internal disputes over ideology, leadership, resources use, gender roles, education, or external relations emerge quickly. Hardline vetting standards can produce authoritarian governments that alienate pragmatic members needed for daily administration. When ideological purity becomes bureaucratic competence suffer. People with managerial or technical expertise may refuse to join or stay, leaving a leadership vacuum or factional splits. Security risks, extremism, linkage, and law enforcement consequences. Overtly, exclusionary projects tend to attract or to be infiltrated by extremist actors. They are monitored by watchdogs and sometimes by law enforcement. That attention can produce a cycle. Extremist members increase state scrutiny and community isolation. Increased isolation invites protectionist armament, which then justifies more scrutiny. Civil society groups and anti-extremism organizations publicly classify and monitor such networks, which intensifies the social and legal costs of residents. Right? So, let me know what you think about this video. As I said, I'm your host and presenter Jindox Stories, but until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.